Good morning,
Good
everyone.
morning.
Good morning. Good
Good
morning.
morning. Good morning.
Welcome to FYI. For your information, I am Gerard Finance alongside Sherrod Duncan. It is a beautiful Thursday morning, guys. It is Thursday, the 16th of June,
Already.
2022, and we are
Already.
going to be,
Already.
we're going to be heading very quickly into the weekend. Tomorrow is
Very,
going to be
very
Friday.
quickly.
Come on. So once we
Already.
pass Wednesday, it's all
Downhill from there.
so
It's all downhill.
let me know how you're doing there in the comment section. I see you guys. I see Beatrice Selvey. I see Chevon McDonald.
We see all of you.
Giselle Chippers.
We see all of you.
I see is it Melinda Thomas? Good morning to you guys. All of you joining us there. You know the comments were coming in long before we even got on this morning.
Anthony Nicholson. Anthony Nicholson. We see you there.
Mm-hmm.
And all the other folks. Sherry. Yeah.
Shelly the writer. Shelly the writer.
Ritter.
Is it?
Sassy Trim, as we know for
Ritter.
certain.
June
Sassy
Chiz.
Trim.
Good morning to you, June.
Morning,
Chiz.
guys. Good morning. Good morning.
Pansy Field. Good morning to you, Pansy Fields, this morning. And is it Michelle McKay? Hey, guys, how are you doing? Angela Jordan.
Angela, how are you doing?
Hey, all
how
of
is
you.
the fire
What's
this
going
morning?
on?
How is the fire this morning, Angela?
Lots to discuss today. Make sure you share the stream. Make sure you do your part and share the stream.
Joy Kosher is here as well.
Yes.
Claire Alexis Charmley Richmond is here too.
And Nina Brown.
Yeah. All the good folks.
Yes.
All the good folks. Happy that you guys are here with us. Very
Blessed
happy.
morning to you too, Beatrice. Blessed morning to you too, Beatrice.
We
Always
receive
high
that.
in spirit,
We receive that and we return it.
Always.
Received and returned.
Angela Jordan saying good morning to everyone. Good morning to you, Angela. Hope you are great this morning. Guys, we know that every day is not perfect, but we have to make the best out of it. That should be our mantra, to get up and make the best out of whatever it is. And remember, no matter how much stress you think you have, there's somebody out there that have it 10 times worse than you. So just get up and get stuff done. Make sure that you're always active. Engage your mind with positive thoughts every single day, regardless of the circumstances before you. Once you have life, you have hope.
Correct.
And once you continue to persevere, you will achieve. It's a bit of morning booster I'm trying to put out there.
Little boost.
I see.
Little boost for you guys.
I see someone is saying to partner with us. They don't play.
That's true.
The comment section is.
That's true. Share the live, smash the emoji, partner with us. That's the right thing.
That is correct.
Correct is right. Guys, give us a share this morning. Let some other folks get valid, incredible information. Linda Jacob says, I am here. Present.
You know who I haven't seen as yet? Late for class. Candy Nalini in the
Ladies, couple days. But we see Yvette Gordon is here, commendable. Yes. And is it Hyacinth Keith is here as well. Good to have you. Roxanne Aaron and Paula Mattis is here too. We're so grateful.
How do you say that? I just say Aaron.
I say Aaron.
You little
Aaron.
extra. Sherrod, he just thinking about the airport and he just gone.
Me too already.
Leonard Jacobs, good morning to you. Shirley Crichton, all of you wonderful.
Yes, I'm so happy you guys are here. Welcome, guys, welcome.
It has been quite a day. I see Pinky Care is here with us also. Pinky Care, I'm not sure if I ever saw this particular name before.
I saw it a lot. I see it a lot. I would say Kerr,
really?
but you say Kerr.
I don't know.
So you like you at the airport too.
Went and come back.
Marjorie Baburam, good to see you, Marjorie. Brenda Braffett and Pinky Kerr.
Yes, my goodness, Sherrod. I see Beatrice Salvi says raining in Queens. It's
raining
in Queens this morning.
Wow.
It's not raining here. Warren Figuera, good morning to you, Warren. How are you doing over there? Warren is sending. Is it raining there also? Warren, I think Warren.
Long Island.
What's going on in Long Island?
Let
us know this morning. And Tessa Isaac Gravesandi says it's sunny from there in Orlando. So a bit of sun there this morning. And I'm seeing, Dawn Cook. Hey, Dawn, what's going on the west side?
Well, it's so bad at our end,
Yeah.
Not so bad.
It's kind of not that bright. Like I'm seeing this morning, like usually we see the place a little brighter. But it's
into the evening, they're telling us we're going to have some scattered thunderstorms. But most of the day.
Well, listen, I never want to hear anything about thunderstorm.
Most of the day is gonna be good.
Bartica has this unique
Tell us.
weather pattern that it could be sunny, it could be blistering sun at 12 noon and at 12:05 thunderstorm.
Rain like that. You're special now. As long as you're special. Julian Mars, how are you? And Jane Ogle. Marlene Griffith, How are you guys doing? Great to have you here.
I have so much to talk about Barticles, guys. Oh my goodness.
Don't let me
I
stop
can't
you.
wait to get into the program.
Why wait?
I can't wait.
Why you
Oh my
sure? Let me
goodness.
move
I have
along.
so much to speak about
Move
Barticles.
on. Moving on down.
As you
Moving on
know,
down.
none other than Irfan took a trip up to Barticle
Oh,
yesterday.
catfish, Barticle.
He went to Barticle
You went
yesterday,
sailing?
right? They went up to Barticle. And then apparently there was this aim to have Bartitians surround him with some love and affection that he was looking for. Well, I do know that the education department came through for him, and they made very well sure that all the school children were out and about to meet him and so forth. And children, you know how children are.
I didn't like
all children are
children in the rain. Lots of parents were complaining to us too.
Yeah, well, there was. I did get a few phone calls about the children being sent home soaking wet and all of that. But I was telling the parents, like, children generally, as a child, you're going to school. They say the president is coming.
Yeah.
You go out there. You try
And they're not caught up in the politics too.
They're
thankfully.
not. They're not.
Thankfully.
So I just leave them out.
Yeah.
I just leave them out. So the education department, they did a part in making sure that there were tons of children out there to meet. But then I know there was a call prior by one of the PPP representatives or persons who joined a motorcade to come down from the airport. I'm telling you what it was. There was a cry of persons for him to join a motorcade to come down from the airport and all of that. And most interesting, I found it most interesting, the actual comments that was coming out, the comments that was coming out of that came on that call, because it's one thing to pretend that something is what it isn't, but you can't go to a place, a community as closely knitted, to say the least, as Barticle, very small community, and say, because I can read the headline. He said all are invited to join a motorcade from the airstrip to Barticle tomorrow, Wednesday. That was put up on Tuesday at 9 a.m. Bicycle, cars, canter trucks, motorcycles, all are invited. Let's welcome our president to Barticle. That's what the post said.
Just so?
But the comments under that post is what was most interesting.
Tell us
the comment was,
read a comment for us.
The comment was, really? Right. Most interestingly, Bartitians know Bartitians. You know who they are and all of that. This person commenting here, born, raised, bred, thoroughbred Bartitian. Man, I said, really? All the time attention and preference is being given to a selected few. Now you want everybody involved in this motorcade. What is the impression you're trying to give to the president? Blatant hypocrisy.
Blatant.
You see, Bartitians are different, right? Bartitians call it out, right? Now, I was taking note, luckily, that I saw a lot of photos being put. Well, majority is school children and so forth, but put that aside. I saw a lot of photos being taken of a specific part on the basketball court, and the bleachers there on the basketball court where persons were sitting to listen. And I know that there was a photo that was put up by you when there were a few Bartitians out there. And then later on, when persons were taken to the event, a lot of persons from the riverine communities, I know communities like Batavia, Agatage, and then a lot of indigenous communities also was organized transportation. People have a way of doing things, right? They need to create this facade.
You're saying the PFP bus people in there?
Both bus,
canter truck, canter people in there.
No, listen, right? It's most interesting to see that had to be done, and I looked at it because as a political person, I have to look at what is going on the ground, and as a political person, I was looking to see, the fact that they still had to do that now, it tells a lot about what is going on in the community per se. I have a lot of reports, and I'm going to get very, I don't want to say nasty with this, but it's very upsetting, to say the least, that I'm getting reports that some public servants were told that they must come out there and show support or else, basically. They must come out there or else, right? Contracts are to be renewed. They want to see whose faces are going to turn up to this particular event and all of that.
Wow.
I will say a lot more on that. Wait, coming right up. I have an issue with a lot of the promises that was made. Guys, the PP administration has been going around the country making promises right now. Yet to be realized, promises. But guess what?
Tell us.
I find it absolutely amazing that the trip to Bartica had no promise of jobs, part-time jobs. Did you hear any of that?
As a matter of fact,
no, did you hear that?
folks
Did I miss
told
it?
us that some of the promises are still up on the lamppost in Bartica, and they wanted to share some of that with us. Some of the promises that were made by the PPP during the 2020 general and regional elections, they sent us this and said, whatever happened to this? I mean, you come and you can't tell us about
those photos. I think those photos were probably taken yesterday itself because they were still there. What is it saying there? More jobs, less crime. Where did that go? You know, reduced cost of living.
How that going for us?
How is that looking for us? How is that looking for Barticians? What, $500 per loaf of bread?
Yeah, we look at
right. Speaking about campaign promises, you know, because this is something that they love to go and talk about. They love to go and say that, oh, we are looking at delivering our campaign promises. No, you're not. Those are your campaign promises, and the evidence is still there on the light poll saying that this is what you promised. You promised to reduce the cost of living and all of that. Yeah. But I find it disrespectful, to say the least, that you have an administration that is saying that they are going to be creating job opportunities. That was 50,000 jobs. That was up on the light polls as well. 50,000 jobs to be created and all of that. I find it disrespectful that Bartica is the only community that they have gone to thus far since they started this outreach and did not announce any of those part-time jobs.
I see house lots
for that, right? BS. I don't want to hear about that.
Maybe
don't
Jack
give me that. Don't give me that. You know why? You know why I don't want to hear about the house. Listen to me. They made it their duty to come in and say that, oh, the coalition didn't distribute houses and all of that. And they called persons in and they said, put your hand in the bag, pull out. Oh, that's your lot. No money. Today, the people are yet to see the plot of land that they have been speaking about. So, right, so don't talk to me. Don't talk to me about that specifically. I have my own biases when it comes to that particular matter. So don't talk to me about that. But I find it disrespectful that you know the amount of young people that are there and all that, and you're blatantly saying that every other community we're gonna say that we're gonna have this part-time jobs. Also, you know, absolute rubbish. We've been talking about it. But if you want to go to your communities and all of that and hand out stuff to them, what is separating you and Region 7? What is so different about that particular part of land?
Correct.
All right?
Yep.
The 500 houses that are to be built, listen. So last night I didn't get much sleep with that particular one because I had no less than 20-something different calls coming into me last night. And everyone is saying that we must structure. They're saying, first of all, let us take this as another promise that they're going to do something. They said, but just in case that they think that they're going to come and do it indeed, then we must have a structure in place that we must make sure that they are not bringing people from all over the country to come and live in your community and the persons living there don't benefit. So they're already in discussions about forming groupings together to make sure that if any house lot is built there, that the community is going to have a direct input in who are the beneficiaries of those altogether. Bartica different. We're very different up there. Very, very different. So. You know, you have to be proactive a lot of times on these things, and I intend to see nothing else. But I want to get more into that a little later.
Well, that's any money people's trust.
Right. So.
Let us know. Have us along.
I see you guys in the comment section. Leon, whatever is the surname, Gorbadan. I am so sorry, Leon. I missed that surname. It went up so fast. I think it is the Gorbadan.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I see, is it Roxy? Hey, Roxy, how are you doing? And
Roxy McKinnon.
I see. Oh, there she is. Candid Lini Inderjit.
Yeah. Go ahead. Read the rest.
Sharon, you looking that shit.
Respect banners.
You see, I saw that.
Talk the things.
Yes.
Interesting,
I think
guys.
Carl Fordyce there also.
And Kearns is here as well.
I think Carl is reporting. Is in a little Facebook quarrel in the comment section.
Sheena Hazel is here too. Good to have you, Sheena. Yes. Natisha Barker. Good to have each and every one of you guys. You make this program what it is, and we're so privileged.
Yes.
Every day you guys tune in. Yes. Morning, noon, and night you guys tune in. We're privileged. We're touched significantly by that, by your kindness.
Yeah.
Your love and your generosity.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, that is correct. I think Leon was asking an important question as to I didn't get the full question there, but I think he was getting to like what did the APNU do for the people, because we were just speaking about Region 7. A very, very important question and thank you so much for asking that, Leon. I think we need to respond to all of those questions. And I think on the the AP and UFC administration, Bartica experience, especially Region 7 as a whole, transformation was amazing, absolutely amazing. Before that, no reliable power supply at all, brand new power station there in Bartica, right? It was solar farm right now, there was the stellan persons were literally hopping and skipping just to get on a boat at some point in time. That stellan was started, half of it was completed, and now the administration is in office. No work has been done to complete the other half.
How are they looking for us?
Major differences.
How are they looking for us?
Yes, we had so much work done on the roadways and all of that, especially when it comes to the road that goes to the Treatment Secondary School and all of those things. We had to pour places like Caribbees Hill, some areas in West Indies housing scheme, seeing a road for the first time where there was just bush and all of those things. Absolutely amazing transformation. The beachfront the persons used to go to prior to 2015.
Transformed.
Completely transformed.
Bartica was cleaner too. Clean and safer.
Amazing.
Clean
Kamal
and safer.
Passad is in there, the magistrate court, the special needs school. Kamal is in there. The healthcare facility, first time ever, Bartica had over 20-something doctors after we took office in 2015 with 4 doctors, the theater was operational, persons could have been doing the CT scan machine, everything. And guess what?
The game was up.
Now, less efficiency within healthcare. The school system is a complete mess.
Going down.
And as I am on the school system right now, let me tell you something.
Tell us.
I found it ridiculous yesterday, and I listened to that part of the clip over and over with a teacher from the 2 Miles Primary School, literally begging, like she's seen like the president is here, she have to beg him for what? We need a printer. We need a printer and a photocopier. And he's like instructing someone, a printer and photocopier, write it down. Are we insane? Is this a level of stewardship? This is that is a literal proof that the system as is a complete wreck and is failing altogether. That is the reason why the children at the Ramadan Secondary School eating bay rice in the night, because there's a failure in the system. And the fact that a teacher have to believe that she has to go there and beg for a printer and a copier, absolute nonsense.
Well,
that's
you have
an
to wait
indictment
till the
on the
comes.
management of this administration right now.
Yeah, you gotta wait.
Absolute nonsense. That's why people line up there, to beg at someone's tail if they can get some help here and there. No. That's not acceptable.
Interesting.
It's not acceptable.
And that is why these promises remain.
Yes.
That's why these promises remain.
So thank you, Leon, for that
they
question.
Remain.
Thank you so much.
They remain.
I would have not said it. My goodness.
Yeah. That is why these promises remain unresolved. Almost 2 years later, it's tragic.
Yep.
It's tragic.
Oh my goodness.
They stay the same, People want change. What else we got in the morning papers, Rita? Help us along.
Morning papers, one of the most interesting things I found in the morning papers today. Guys, we were talking about the fact that GRA and their headquarters, and I see that Javier has made an announcement that GRA to have new headquarters at Ogle.
Oh, they're sending them further now. They have moved them, took back the land that they gave them, handed that to a private developer. Friends, family, and favorites. That's how they're doing it. Handed to a private developer, and now they're giving them some other lands to put on their headquarters.
Yep.
This government has no shame. This regime has no shame. Folks, hundreds of you are watching us. Hundreds. Share the live. Smash that emoji button so that others get this credible and valid information as well. Please and thank you. Share the live. Smash that emoji button, folks. Because you see what's happening here? It's the same old PPP come back. There's nothing new,
Yeah.
Nothing new.
Warren says, vex, bad, don't mess with Bart.
Yes.
Correct is right. Anywhere else.
She come out to fight this morning. Fight them, Charita. Fight them.
Yeah, I can be very blatant when it comes to what went on there and all of that.
Yeah, you've lived it. It's a lived experience. It's not somebody tell you.
I have lived.
What did you do?
I have lived prior to 2015 all my life with persons with the PPP administration completely forgetting about Bartic, Region 7 as a whole.
Yeah.
Completely forgetting about them. The worst of anything that
Kamal has a comment there. And now when the AFC has brought it up to a standard, Bring it up to a standard. Now them boys realize that they got people living with it.
Yeah.
Suddenly,
That's what it is.
Suddenly,
and I saw, we're gonna
Kamal
get
was
too
talking about the
much.
budget there and the fact
Yes,
that cut the budget too.
Kamal is
On
basically
point.
on
On
point there.
point.
The
On point.
budgeting system altogether, the way in which contracts are being dealt, does right about now. Barticians, and I saw the specific call also for business people in Bartico to come to the meeting yesterday. And I said to business people, whenever those meetings are called, you go.
Yep.
I know what you ask.
Yep.
You go and you ask, why is it the contractors are coming from all over this country to do small works in Bartico? Why is it that just to fix an office space in Bartico, you got to get a contractor from Essequibo? Why is
Friends,
that so?
family, and
What is
favorites.
wrong with the contractors in Bartico? Why
Friends,
is it
family,
that
and favorites.
the tender board that is composed of only PPP representatives giving out all of the contracts, major decision making is being made at that level, and Barticians are not benefiting from that. And the Barticians that are benefiting from it is just a selected few of persons. That is what the guy was talking about when he was in that comment. That's what he was saying.
Friends, family, favorites.
So you have to. Politics is about being on the ground and actually knowing the dynamics. There is nothing that goes on in my hometown that I don't know about. So nobody could come and kerfuffle me when it comes to this big.
Don't come around treating funny,
right?
And Bartico.
Listen.
Yeah. What else we have in the morning papers? What else we have in the morning papers?
Police trailing of Norton unnecessary. So says Ben.
Why the following Norton?
No.
I maintain it's unacceptable. This country needs to know who authorized policemen to follow Mr. Norton and why. That is first and foremost. It isn't sufficient to come out and say it is unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
Why did it happen in the first place? That is what we need to know. The very same way we were asking the question, who killed or in Boston? Somebody green-lighted that operation, that SWAT team operation, left Georgetown, went to Essequibo, and murdered in Boston. And we need to know who authorized that and why. It is not sufficient for people to say it's not me, somebody else asks it's not me and all of that. So Ben is saying pretty much it's not he.
Yeah.
And that it was unnecessary. He said it was untidy.
Yeah,
Ben talking about untidy. I don't understand this at all. But he said it was untidy, it was unnecessary. Some other word was used there. Untidy, unnecessary, and something else.
Well, basically, I'm quoting from how it's being reported here in Starbuck News. It said that Minister of Home Affairs Rupson Ben has described the police action in trailing opposition leader Aubrey Norton as an untidy, unnecessary, and useless exercise.
Useless.
All right.
That being said, all of that might be right in his head, but somebody told those policemen, follow the leader of the opposition. Two low-ranking policemen didn't just wake up that day and decide, you know what? Let me follow Aubrey. Somebody okay that. And this country needs to know.
Correct.
It's either Clifton Hickens is in charge of the police force or he's not. It is either Robeson Ben supervises or whatever is the role of the minister or he isn't. But it's not sufficient to say, oh, it was untidy. Nonsense. It happened and we need to know why it happened. Great entry, sorry.
No, I want to get into some because I thought the report that was being the comments coming out of Rupson Ben was somewhat untidy itself, to say the least, because they said it's quoting him and saying we ain't in the business of following anybody around like that, and I am sure that the police, if they wanted to follow Mr. Norton around, would have a better way, which or less obvious of following him around. If they ever wanted to follow him around. So
remember, we have a force, don't know cocaine from milk, right? So it's not everybody, but it's some of them little thing. It's not all of them, but some of them. So I don't know, they have a better way and all that. Right? They were called out, Mr. Norton confronted them. They said, we are on orders. Two low-ranking policemen on motorcycles again. Don't wake up one day and decide this is our course of action. They just don't.
Correct.
Right? That came from at the top. And if so, let's say they had just taken upon themselves to do this. Why hasn't there been any reprimand?
Well, that is what I think we said that yesterday. And again, again, the paper is quoting today. It said, asked about the incident on Tuesday, Commissioner of Police Acting Clifton Hickens had told Starbuck News that he was unaware that ranks from the Guyana Police Force had trailed Norton. Quoting him, Starbuck News says, I don't know anything like that. Why would the police want to trail Mr. Norton? That Hickens responded there. So we have a bit of... Mr. Hickens is at the helm. Right?
And he wants to be there.
It does not speak. It does not speak well if he's unaware of something of this magnitude. This is not an ordinary citizen being trailed around. This is a leader of the opposition being trailed around by police officers.
And that's what I'm telling you. Right? If they're trailing you, they listen to your phone calls. Then your septic tank, and they're going through your feces and your urine and so on, and they're doing all kind of tests. They're in your garbage and looking to see what mail you train out, who writing train, all of that. That is where it starts in the police state. This King Jong Irfan. That's what's happening here. You understand me? And it's unacceptable. The Commissioner of Police I know, the Minister of Home Affairs I know. So this country just rudderless. Right? Nobody that need help. That two policemen can just pick up Isabella and Wendy Andrews, Leon Gomez, then two policemen can just pick up and say they follow you. And that's it. Come on, folks. Come on. Come on. You got to read between the lines. Come on, guys. Come on.
Correct. Very, very correct. And I want us to go into the morning.
Yeah. What's brewing? What's brewing? What's brewing? Tell us. Tell us.
Very quickly. I am taking
Tell us what's brewing. Tell me.
I'm trying to focus on the little fight in the comment section this morning. It's early, guys. Don't get distracted.
Yeah.
It's early.
When the Andrews is lying policeman. Yeah. You know the story.
I am following you.
You know the story, Wendy.
Take it nice and easy. Take it nice and easy. Don't get too distracted.
You know the story, Wendy. This is the best cup of tea treat I ever make.
What is this?
She's going off mountain.
This mountain. This one is good mountain. I'll be sure to tell John. Yes.
Go right ahead.
We're good. Guys, when it comes to what is on the morning brew, I'm going to start off at the international front as we usually do. I find it interesting. I think you guys should know. It's been a while since we've been reporting what is going on between Russia and Ukraine and the war there. And I find it interesting that I'm seeing reported right now on Al Jazeera that the U.S. sends $1 billion in security aid to Ukraine. The U.S. is sending in $1 billion in security aid to Ukraine. So a lot of persons probably want to know, how Zelensky is still standing up thus far. And persons need to understand it's not without aid, as you are seeing there right now.
They're determined that they're not going to get the upper hand. The Russia's not going to get the upper hand. They're determined. Yeah. And that's why we see all this money flowing in.
Correct. And the assistance package includes, coastal defense weapon and advanced rocket system for the Donbass fight. And that is what the U.S. president was saying. And I'm hoping that persons have a little clue about what the Donbass fight is and that piece of land there in Ukraine that was the disputed territory altogether, that had folks living there that were persons are saying that were Russian citizens and it's still within the boundaries, and that Donbass dispute that has been happening for years.
But in addition to that, I think you got a number of European leaders who were in Kiev, Ukraine's major city, today as well.
Correct.
Aiming to try to bring an end to this conflict ASAP.
Well, I don't know if they're trying to bring an end to the conflict, because I'm going to be a little more skeptical here on this part, especially given the comments.
You're cautiously optimistic.
Yes, given the comments that was coming out of none other than Zelensky himself, because Zelensky was most cautious about what is going on. And it's the same basically that leaders of Europe's Union, the three largest countries, France, Germany, and Italy, they are to arrive in Kiev on Thursday morning. So this morning they're supposed to be, if they haven't arrived as yet, they should be in a short space before noon. They should be arriving there to have. But this is more so I think this is more so of saying that they're guaranteeing their support behind Ukraine and so forth, because I know that Zelensky has been questioning that for quite some time. He has been going hard at the fact that we have so many international organizations that have been pledged to support each other when they're in a time of need. And when you are in a time of need now, everyone seems to be acting very cautious.
It's when you're in trouble, It's when you're in trouble that who is who in this life. My mother used to say, if you got problems that you can't call and one of your friends to help you out. If you really got no
then
friends,
you don't have any friends if you
you
can't
really
do
got no
that.
friends.
That is true.
Right?
Yes.
That's the trouble we have. But close to home, we're seeing some stuff happening. And you pointed this out to us just this morning.
Yes.
Businessman Leroy Bradford, this guy, I think it's based out of Barbados, I think.
Yes, correct.
He's before the court for allegedly selling counterfeit items. Now, this resonated with us because we got so much unscrupulous business people. Just like the police force got a couple bad eggs, the private sector got some bad eggs in it. Them boys just want to make money, That's all they want to do, make money. And last night in our affiliate program, In the Ring, we were pointing out the fact that we got a whole regime here who giving our kids, for instance, giving our kids expired biscuit. Expired biscuit. I wonder when I was going up under these jagabats, how many expired biscuits I get? Expired biscuit, this region 5 people send us the boxes with the markings on it. Expired biscuit. And then folks from the Linden Hospital complex pointed out as well. Expired masks being distributed to the patients. They hoard these things.
Well, the masks are being stored in Linden at that bond that we were speaking about to the level of the Public Accounts Committee there, the masks are being stored there. And I found it very strange that masks are being stockpiled there when persons are not having it and it's not being distributed in schools and so forth,
Correct.
So it's very, very interesting to see at least that person.
You got masks expire. It's not beyond business people like Mr. Bradford here, to try to pull a fast one on customers. But we have to have a conscience, especially when things gonna enter your bodies.
But these are knockoff merchandise. These are a little different, I found it, like you rightly said, particularly interesting because of the ripple effect that this have. Well, not this particular story, but the similarities rather that you will see in Guyana. And I want to make a point that I've noted a video and I've commended it. I think I've shared it also, of someone that was saying that basically given the difference between products and how to identify which one is a knockoff and which one is an original product. And the very fact that you may be paying for a brand, and you are receiving a product that does not cost half as much to produce altogether. A lot of those things, and I've been noting some comments out there about things like Head and Shoulder shampoo, about Iris Spring bath soap, about baby powders and so forth, that persons are rebranding altogether and bringing it. And sometimes it is extremely hard to identify the difference, right?
Yeah.
But in knockoff market, this is getting larger and larger. And we have to be very careful as consumers. We have to be vigilant consumers.
Very much so.
And report these people.
There's a term you have in business law called caveat emptor. And remember my days teaching business law. Caveat emptor, it means buyers beware. Buyers beware. You have a right and a duty to check the item. Some of us just see Victoria's Secret from far.
Yeah.
But you don't examine it, right? When you get up close and you go home now and you look at it clearly, you note 1 or 2 letters missing. It's not really Victoria. Might be Victorine or, But from far, you say it's Victoria and it's cheap. I got with it.
No, but that's not, that's part of it. That's huge, what you're talking about. That's a huge issue there. But I am speaking specifically about products being branded the identical name.
Way.
The identical name. They're not changing in lettering or anything like that. It's the identical
You got to look for quality.
name.
You got to look for the quality
And
because there are some ways in
Yeah.
which you look to see how it is done. Some of the detailing, for instance, you might look at.
You know which one is big? You know which is big right now, and I think particularly in Guyana, is that knockoff colognes.
Yeah.
Knockoff colognes is huge. That's huge. There's so many persons out there selling colognes, telling you that they have this original cologne.
Burberry.
And it is knockoff colognes.
It's just the bar. Ain't got the berry.
It may smell a certain way, and by the time you walk off, the scent is gone.
Yeah, you got some cool water, but it's just water.
Listen,
it's not no cool water.
Guys, we need to be vigilant.
I know some of the women like the Paris Hilton and so on.
Yes.
The fancy thing. It's just Paris or just the Hilton.
I see you, Keith. I see it on Henry. I see that comment.
Fraud is fraud.
I see
Fraud is fraud.
I see Joel Finance, my brother there, joining us in Bardic this morning.
Fraud
Good
is
morning
fraud.
to you. Good morning to you.
What is happening, Judah? What is happening?
Well, that is something that we picked up from Barbados, and also I wanted to take note, because this is something we spoke about recently. I want to take note that in Jamaica, the agriculture minister is taking steps to prevent the invasion of killer bees.
Yeah.
All right, and guys,
we need to make some notes here.
Yes,
that is
why it's here. That is why it's here. I'm telling you, because we had mentioned very recently about the attack of the bees and the man that died because of such. And we mentioned that it was not the first or second time.
Region 6 seemed to have a high incidence of it.
Right? So we're seeing proactive behavior there of the minister. And we will encourage only that the same, pattern be taken from
people who care and how they operate.
Correct.
They operate differently.
Yes, very much so. Very
much
so.
So, Zulfikar, Mustafa, take some notes, man. Take some notes for your colleagues doing this about other places now. And let's save some lives.
That is correct.
Could we do that?
Correct.
Go ahead, Drew.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. Guys, as we come closer to home, I don't know how I'm going to deal with this particular story.
Another epidemic we're dealing with.
I have to go.
Another one we're dealing with.
Very much so.
Go ahead, Judah.
It's saying right now, 15-year-old commits suicide after alleged rape by taxi driver.
Lord have mercy.
15-year-old commits suicide after alleged rape by taxi driver. And I want to specifically about this matter. First, I want to say that I've noticed two different ages being reported, one 14 and one 15. So it's I just want to put that out there as of right now. But the case is saying that the Barbies hire car driver was remanded for a rape of this school girl. And
so sad.
And the report. And I have read several reports about, and the consistency in the report is saying that the young lady was on her way to school. She was dressed for school. She was on the road waiting for transportation. She's waiting on this bus to go to school. The taxi man drove up alongside her and offered her a ride to school. She went into the taxi, and then he went in the opposite direction.
To Amsterdam.
When he was going in the opposite, when she questioned him, he told her that he was going to pick up another passenger.
Yeah.
And then he continued. When she got scared, she was demanding that he took her back. He drove to a lonely area in which he advanced her for sexual activities. She refused, and he proceeded to rape her.
Yeah.
After which, this is according to all reports, after which he took her back where he picked her up.
Wickedness in this country.
He took her back where he picked her up. Right? He took her back where he picked her up. And listen to me. I read it in all the reports, and it says one thing to me. It says one thing to me, that he has not. This is not his first time.
Yeah.
This is not his first time. It is not his first time. When he take that child back, this is a child. When he take that child back and drop her off there, it is not his first time. He did it because he did it before and he got away. This is the interpretation that I am getting in my mind of this case. It appears as though. Let me formulate my words for public consumption. It appears as though that this is something he's comfortable with, that he can drop that child back to that location. It appears as though he is of the mindset that this young woman, this child, would not speak and she would not tell people what went on there. And the child has been reported. She went home. She didn't say anything. Matters of assault, especially sexual assault, very rarely victims speak up, especially right away. A lot of victims speak up way after, sometimes years pass, and then victims come forward and speak up. That's why a lot of the cases, even with Me Too movements and so forth, a lot of the cases are cases of incidents that happened years prior, because the psychological implications, and that bars victims from actually wanting to go and tell their story, because you have to relive the entire experience all over again, especially when it goes before a court. She went home and she ingested a poisonous substance, as being reported in the news. And when her mother, I think she started vomiting. That's one of the news report that I read, and her mother took her to the hospital. She was admitted at the hospital. She told them everything that transpired. She said every single thing. And as sad as it can be, the report this morning is that she succumbed at the hospital. I'm seeing that those reports online saying that she succumbed at the hospital. So,
we got a lot of sick people in this country.
I have my let me look at the facts. I think we have to dispassionately look at the facts in order for us to get somewhere with these things. One of the things, if you can look at the statistics, and I'm going to dive into some statistics as fast as I can with these particular matters. But when we're looking at the statistics, the amount of persons that actually are jailed for these rape cases and so forth, it's just a minute of the amount of reports that are made, because the system and the structure of the system altogether, abuse victims are not willing to go through that again, and it is horrible, especially for a child. How do you put a child before the court? That's the system that it is right now. We have to look at, I think, a lot of psychological work and a lot of partnership needs to be done with law enforcement as it is right now, the structure that is before us right now, and how they can make it a little more comfortable for victims to be there before that system,
Yep.
It's very sad.
And it's just recently we were going through some reports right here. I think it was Region 5 they were saying has a high incidence
Region 5
sexual violence.
Well, Region 5, actually, the commander in Region 5 was reporting that when it comes to statutory rape, that the reports on statutory rape had increased by 300%. That was the data that he gave out there from Region number 5.
Yeah. So, and folks, we got to watch that. You got a lot of sick people, and we got to continue to fight for our kids. And, let me tell you something. People come around my children funny. I'm going to say I'm comfortable in chemistry jail for some people, honestly.
Yep.
Very comfortable, knowing the full implications of my actions. I will go very comfortable and sit down there. We're going to see people's children and lead them. Look, I got a lot of problems in life. A lot. If you hear I hit a woman, it's lying. You understand me? Rape, you got too much problems to get involved in this kind of foolishness. Right? And we as men, we got to do differently. We got to do vastly, vastly different from what has been occurring in this country. And something tells us, I don't know if it's the leadership on these issues that is missing, that people feel you can go ahead and do a lot of foolishness. I think I saw somewhere recently as well, somebody got 3 years or so for some similar infraction, some similar trespass against the person, right? And if you have, perhaps, as you rightly said, you need to have more partnerships with law enforcement and the judicial services that are available to people to maybe up the penalty, but we got to send a very, very strong signal to people that this kind of action and activity will not be condoned. Will not be condoned. And I think you're on the right path when you say this doesn't look like it's the first time. With the ease of which, you gone and you pick up somebody's child, you offering a service, and look how you're abusing your privilege. Look how you're abusing your privilege. Offering a service, ferrying children to and from school. And you can do some silliness like this. And now that young woman felt that she couldn't cope with this. Didn't tell anybody, according to reports, on her deathbed in the hospital. She related to relatives what had happened. And this is why she took this course of action. And you're going to do this to somebody. Without even the death, the mere activity of rape is enough to traumatize somebody for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Right? And a very, very strong signal has to be said in this society, because there's a whole lot of this we see, men beating up on women. We talked about Mariam Edwards, the young lady, whichever landing it was. Peroni landing, who was murdered, right? This kind of madness has to stop.
Yeah.
But it needs leadership at the top.
Yeah.
But the dark side of leadership in this country is that a lot of the people we see as leaders don't have the moral authority to address these issues. That is the dark side of leadership, because they themselves, have been involved in some Me Too moments. They themselves, and we just had one the other day, people sending photographs and, you're an official government business overseas and you open up to meet with people and all kind of nonsense. That is the trouble we have, that a lot of them do not have the moral authority. When you hear a man soliciting sex for your uncle and talking about who's F who and all of that on tape, and you know the characters, and you think there's people, that's the trouble we got in this country.
Yes. It is something that we need to deal with very urgently, and I want to give a caution, mothers, parents out there, parents, guardians out there all together, and especially young people. Let us be very careful in the way in which we operate, and I've said it before on this program. Be very careful of who you trust your children with, and have very direct, blatant, straightforward conversations with your children, especially girls. Let them know the dangers out there. Just don't say, you don't go in any strange taxi, those things aren't safe. Say blatantly what it is out there. Say blatantly that young women are being raped out there. Let them know the blatant truth of the matter right now. Too many times we shut up so much and we believe that we can just pass instructions down to young people and they just follow it. It doesn't happen like that. That is a 1960 methodology. It can't work like that when they are getting tons of other information and influences in their ears through technology, the internet, and all of that. Explain to your children why you are telling them what you're telling them. Explain to them why they should not be in a taxi with a stranger. Explain those things to them. Explain to them why they should not be loitering on the roads and just come straight home after school and all of those things. Explain to them why they should not be alone at any point in time. We have to be very vigilant, and we have to teach young people to be vigilant. And when it comes to the law, this is an entire different matter. But when it comes to the law and the penalties that is given to persons for such dastardly actions, I can say they must be so severe that persons will tremble just to think about contemplating doing it.
Very well, very well. In other news, folks, as we move along, we are watching this whole issue of the disabilities cash grant that is giving out. Andrea, I know a lot of people got some challenges in how this disability is being interpreted.
Yes.
How disability is being interpreted. And, I saw Sarah Cruz even talking about whether it will extend to elders who are in this period here, finding it very, very difficult finding it very difficult to cope in the COVID season. They're out of work, people with disabilities and so on, having a hard time. How is it going to affect them? How is it going to affect them?
Well, most definitely. And I think some of the comments that I've been seeing coming out is that persons are asking very specifically if they are going to be if children actually with not physical disabilities will actually be given the opportunity to benefit from this. Because you will remember, guys, when this was announced very early, I said, when you say disability and you didn't specify which disability you're talking about, it leaves a wide opening, wide range. We can talk about so many aspects of disability, because disability is not just physical. Persons were asking about disabilities, like when it comes to things like dyslexia and all of those things. And I've been told, and I'm to confirm, but I'm going to say it here because it's somewhat of a credible source that I'm getting it from also. But I've been told that persons did ask that, and they were told that yes, children with such will be considered. So I have to say, and I'm going to say this now, I've always been saying that when it comes to things, anything that is utilizing taxpayers' dollars, you are in the category and you can receive that benefit. You go out there and you receive that benefit. I will never once tell you not to go out there and receive benefits from taxpayers' dollars. No, I will never do that. And because of that, I just want to give some guidelines when it comes to that, the children with disabilities, that $100,000 cash grant. There have been a flyer going around there, and I'm seeing locations in region 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 there. One right through rather, and the locations I'm going to give specific. I think we're going to try to give out this information as quickly as we possibly can. But I know in Bartica, it's a Bartica Hospital, Cameron Hospital, and Ramadan Health Post. Those are the areas that persons have to go to. I have noted prior, guys, that when it comes to if someone needs to evaluate the child, to say that the child indeed has a disability, they're saying, yes, you have to walk with a medical certificate. You have to walk with the child's birth certificate also when you're going to actually register. And they're saying if you don't have a medical certificate, they're going to have persons on site that can do an evaluation of the child. So that should not be a deterrent. If you don't have a medical evaluation certificate in your hands, you can just take the child, and on the site they're going to be having persons there that is going to be able to assess the child there. So I know region 1 is the Mabaruma Regional Hospital there. That's one of the places you can go. Hosororo Health Post and any medical location, hospital, medical outpost seems to be the areas in which you can go. And again, this seems to be the chosen locations because children that are going will have to be evaluated if they don't have any documentation stating that they have this disability. So whichever region you're in, the regional hospital there, you can go in there and you will be able to get more information and more guidance on that. But I'm saying go out once you have a child with a disability. Make sure that you go out and you do that. At no point in time you must allow benefits from taxpayers' dollars to just pass you by. Don't do it. These people are consuming billions of dollars, squandering billions of dollars of our taxpayers' dollars. And whatever services that is put out there for your consumption, you be the consumers of such. Is your right as a citizen of this country.
True. I think the big issue this morning going to cause a lot of problems, Rita.
Oh my goodness.
The big issue this morning going to cause a lot of problems because, people don't like to admit certain things, And this issue has been one that has really, really dogged us for a couple years now because we entering, I think, like the second year of the install regime. It's like the second year. This issue going to cause a lot of problems because, it seems as though the people who talk about election rigging so wantonly,
the administration there themselves, wow,
the regime, but these are the people who fighting
to keep out,
against any review of the 2020 general and regional elections. And in just today's paper, today's news across social media, the different media entities in this country, you will see that Claudette Singh has turned down, in no uncertain terms, a request by the opposition nominated GCOM commissioners to review the 2020 regional and general elections. Could you imagine? Let us proffer that these elections were rigged by APNU AFC. Let's say it's a hypothesis. The riggers.
Let us say what it is. The PPP claims.
The riggers coming to say, let us review the election. And the people who accuse them of rigging every single day say, no, we don't want to review it. Right? So Claudette Singh, the chairman of GCOM, right? PPP Claudette Singh has turned down a request by, you have Vincent Alexander, Desmond Trotman, and the other guy, Mr. Corbyn. Turned down a request by them to review the GCOM system as relates to the 2020 general and regional elections. But in spite of that, and independent of that, they had promised, Maureen Chichester, the PPP had promised that they were going to do a commission of inquiry into the 2020 general and regional elections. This is the people who were first to talk about who have rigged those elections. They said they were going to do a commission of inquiry. And early on in this month, we discussed it right here on this program. Early on in this month, your Vice President Jaglio said they're no longer going to pursue that. He said because the opposition may not turn up. You don't need us. If you have the evidence. So GCOM has turned down a proposal to review their part in the 2020 general and regional elections. The Vice President has also turned it down. But these are the people who have gotten a lot of opposition folks before the courts. On trumped up, we told you all that trumped up bogus electoral fraud charges. Folks like Valda and Lawrence.
Yeah.
Right? Carol Smith from Region 5, among other people, some of their own staff at GCOM. And we told you folks, those cases weren't going anyplace because there's no evidence, because no evidence exists, because the APNU-FC did not try to rig the 2020 general and regional elections. And these are the same folks, lastly I'll say, that fighting the elections petition in the courts, right? But you hear it here from just recently at the Summit of the Americas, in a very veiled way, talk about the same thing. The elections being rigged. They're fighting the petitions in court. They don't want to do the COI on the 2020 general regional elections. Colin Singh just turned down a request for GCOM to do its own internal review of the 2020 general and regional elections. Right? And you got several cases in the courts, none of which have resulted in a conviction to this day. 2 years on. Right? When you hear them talk about people rigging election, you must boo them and chase them out your communities as well when they come to talk nonsense. Because if you want, let's prove it, man. Let's prove it. Claudette, who swing? Let the thing go through. Review GCOM's role in the 2020 general regional election and the rigging. Let the COI go forward. Let the petitions go forward. Let me prove it once and for all. But I'm eager to hear what the supporters of the PPP say about this. I'm eager to see how they spin it. Over to you, Drika.
And so there's what is going on. It's simple, and persons you have the opportunity to agree or disagree to your liking. But what is going on is that the PPP has gone on from 2020 to now with a slew of disinformation. They consistently, and they hold on to the disinformation. And I've always said that it's not misinformation, it's disinformation, because they intend for it to misguide you. It is deliberate. And what you see now is that they are in the process of, and they will continue every single day, they will continue to shut down anything that is going to create an avenue and a platform for evidence to be provided. They are going to walk away from that, because when it comes to evidence-based arguments, that is something that their disinformation,
they love the rhetoric.
Their disinformation can't hold up to that. So what they're doing right about now is every avenue in which information, data, documentations, and all of that have to be presented in that structured setting. They're going to run from it because they know it will dismantle every bit of that disinformation that they have been walking around the country saying since 2020 to now.
Edel Rodney says it will show who the real riggers are.
That is what it is. That is what it is. That is what it is.
That's what Edel Rodney says. It will show who the real riggers are. Perfectly in order.
Yes.
Perfectly in order. That's what it will show. Who the real riggers are. Yep. I cannot see people who at every turn talk about rigging. And you got a clown, that Taichung News still employs every day. He writes about rigging. Right? And you got a process now to prove rigging. But they want the process.
Yes.
Right? They want the outcome to prove rigging. But they want the process. You turn down the COI. You say, we ain't pursuing it. It's in their power.
Yes, correct.
To do a COI, a commission of inquiry. It's in their power. Claudette had it in her power. And I don't know if Claudette's singing shame If Scholar Singh don't shame, you got rigging left, right, and center around you. On your watch, Claudette. And I don't know if Claudette don't want to clear her name. Right? I don't know if Claudette don't want to clear her name.
At the helm of it.
Everybody else wrong she involved in rigging. There's demons. But she's the only saint in Chicom. I find it hard to believe. And she has now the golden opportunity
to clear it up.
To clear it up for the nation. She said, no. Let's move on. Y'all think them boys easy? Right? And tomorrow they come and talk about rigging, Tomorrow, forgetting they turned down the COI, they turned down this request for a review and the fighting the cases in court. And the other cases with the electoral fraud ain't going no place.
Correct.
You think them boys easy? Oh, it's the gumption.
Yes, that is correct.
It's the gumption of them.
And you the citizen, you have to question it.
Demand more.
Every time these individuals come to the community and they open their mouth and they make such sentiments, you ask them point blank, so why did you not support the COI? Why is that not something that you see the necessity for if you're making all of these claims? If your claims will be put in a solid record, why would you run from that? What is the reason for you to be hopping and skipping to get wrong as much as you possibly can to make sure that the evidence is never provided? Why are you doing that? Why? All right.
And you could put a nail in the coffin,
guys,
once and for all.
You know why.
Oh, make sense of the nonsense.
You all know why.
Let me make sense from nonsense.
There is nobody. All right, let me qualify that statement. There is no right thinking Guyanese that would look at the scenario that is before us. These people are claiming that the elections were rigged and the attempt rigged and whatever. These people are claiming that. They have been claiming that since 2020. The same people are running from every bit of opportunity to actually prove that it was so. Guys.
Ricardo said, the one like an edgy teacher.
We have to be a certain level of special. To not see what is before us and this clear picture that is being painted before us by these individuals, right? We have to be a certain level. I am not that level of special, and I am of the hope and the impression that you guys are not either.
Correct.
But if there are a few of you there, if there's a few of you there that cannot understand, I'd be willing to break it down for you, right? If there's a few of you there that can't understand what's going on, I'm willing to break it down for you. But the evidence right now is action speaks louder than words. That is a mantra that we all know. You grew up knowing action speaks louder than words. The words have been that the 2020 election, the coalition attempt to rig the election, isn't it? The action is that when the avenue was presented for it to be proven, they ran away from that.
Like they're running from Sunday.
Shut it down altogether. That is the action. And if that action is not speaking louder than the words and the disinformation, then we need to check ourselves and we need to do some serious introspection because we're missing something. And we do not want to be people that are missing something. We want to be informed people. We want to make informed decisions. And people that try to take away any bit of information, transparency altogether, those are not people that we want to be walking behind.
Very well. Very well. And as somebody said there, the real riggers are, right? I don't know if the PPP supporters, we have a right in this country, democratic country, to support whoever we want to. But you can see this thing plain as day. But y'all taking lamp stick to go look for them nighttime. Plain as day. Who the real riggers are. Everything they're doing to trying to shut down anything that could shed a little light on what transpired. Anything. Folks, there's a piece of video I'm looking for. It's somewhere on social media. I don't know where to find it. There are folks walking throughout GCOM when they had that insurrection at GCOM Hatfield Street. I can see it in my eyes, opening drawers, moving documents around. I'm looking for that video. Tag me in it if you guys have it. Tag me in it.
Once it's out there, I'm going to get it. Once it's out here.
I'm going to show you who the real riggers are. The U.S. got the January 6th as a day of infamy when Donald Trump instigated that run on Capitol Hill and people stormed that place. You know, what an assault on democracy. That happened right here at GCOM Hatfield Street building. And we showed some of it on our affiliate program in the Ring recently. We'll be showing you more of that. Because it's the truth. And how can you get credible information out of that? Credible results. A process where anybody walked off the street, walk in GCOM, pick up a folder, you know. I told you here, the man, the IT fella, left the whole building with the server, with these SOPs in his hand for about 2-3 hours. He had it in his car. Right? And I don't care if Curry come and tell me it's reasonably credible. Me, I won't accept that in Barbados.
Less than 20% observed.
Right?
But
Bruce Golden won't accept that in Jamaica. And definitely, Ralph Gonzalez would have sacked that in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. A man left with the whole server, went to the car around the corner, come back. He said there was a bomb scare. Who authorized? He said nobody. He just picked it up and left. And then you throw that out at us. He said, oh, that's credible results.
Reasonably credible.
Reasonably credible. Right? But I know me and now catching your tail in Barbados. That's your own problems to deal with. You know, lots of them. I see some things happening to them. Before them, I couldn't say, you know. I'm sorry for y'all, but choices got consequences. Right? Choices got consequences. I look at you all now and I smile. The whole ship of state they got rid of. Everything they wanted. And they're still vexed, you know. They still are contented. You know, it's sad.
Very sad. Very, very sad.
Very sad.
But that's our time, guys. That is our time this morning.
This Thursday.
It's Thursday. Tomorrow's going to be Friday. So let us not
when did Claudette turn? Who turned Claudette? That's what you want to know. You know?
I think
when did Claudette swing?
I think we need to set up a meeting there
Huh?
for some very pertinent questions being
You know?
asked.
It is in her best interest to remove any lingering cloud. You know? You remember recently, the president of the CCG was taking the DB to task. She made a broad statement. He said, you as an officer of the law, you cannot make such sweeping generalizations that have not been tested. When these guys talk about rigging, they got an avenues to test this theory that they got. They got avenues, but they're shutting them down. No COI, no review at GCOM.
Extensive work being put into the process of shutting them down.
Extensive work.
Extensive work.
And y'all want to tell us we got credible results?
Yeah.
2020.
That is the people. That's the people. But guys, you know, that's their time, like I said.
That's the time. Love having you guys here, Marilyn Thomas.
Loses his
Glenford Gordon.
in the morning.
No, I had tremendous respect for Claudette Singh.
Yes.
But
yes.
Claudette.
Thank you so much for joining
Swing.
us. And Amabel Clement, and I see Simone George there trying to calm down.
Yeah.
It's still morning. You're gonna have.
I feel like when this is where you feel about Chico.
Yes.
We're gonna fight them.
So
fight
we
them.
have
At Kurt.
Sonia Cobb, I see you there. And I see Edward Gonzalez from the Bronx.
Sonia Massey. Is y'all Massey girl?
Tara Brian is on this morning. A whole lot of comments coming out from Tara. Thank you so much for joining
Folks,
us this
share
morning. And I see
the live.
Donna McDonald,
Share
Karen
the
Clark,
live.
Ricardo Charles.
Share the live.
Yes, that is correct.
After every name I shout it. Share the live. Credible, valid information, folks. Credible, valid information. Please share. Partner with us as well. We can't do this without you. All know we're publicly funded. Public funded. We public funded. That's by you, folks. That's why we talk the things. Nobody give me a script and say, oh, yeah, I said this or said that.
GT Ruger said, I'm mad all now.
Yeah. It's raise up my things every time I think about them. Every time I think about them, you know, every once in a while, Claudette crawl out from the hole she in, the delegation, and she makes some comments. You know? And look at what she wants to tell us. Oh, she don't want to review the process. Folks, share the life and I go down the road. That's it, Rita.
That's it,
Final word
Sharon.
goes to you. Final word
That
goes
is
to you.
it, Sharon.
That's
Make
it.
sure that you continue to
We're going,
partner
go
with
quick.
us. Make sure that you partner with us, guys.
Someday it's gonna go.
You know what the drill is.